I started the festival 17 years ago, and I'd been in the industry already like 25 years, so it was important for me that Canadians, especially filmmakers of color and artists of color in the entertainment industry, have a platform where they could share their stories, tell their own stories themselves, and have the world understand some of the social impact of what their lives were like in Canada. And Reelworld really just came out of that. The name itself came out of the fact that reel for, you know, the image of the reel of film, but also the world and everybody, all people, and not just one kind of people in the world, but all kinds of different people in the world. And we have such unique cultures and races and religions, and all of it makes this whole world. And I think the best way for us always to work is when we understand we're a family, you know, that when we understand that our issues are everybody else's issues. Our issues are not unique to us, but understanding that everyone is struggling the same way. They want the best for their families, and they want a future for their children is the same in every culture. There were so many challenges some people don't think about. Because I am black, everyone assumed that the festival was a black film festival, which it's not, but it was amazing how it's hard for people to conceptualize that someone of a specific race doesn't create initiatives for other people. So that was the hardest thing, constantly convincing people that Reelworld was for all racialized people. The whole point of putting this initiative together was for bringing people together. It wasn't for separating people. And I feel that when a festival focuses on just one race or one culture, it adds to the divisiveness of the world. And I've always seen the world as one full place, and I've always felt that I was related to everybody in it. So I think that was how I wanted this festival to speak. And not only because people focus a lot on just the filmmakers, but I think it's important to understand too, when I started Reelworld, people behind the scenes of film festivals, meaning getting a director to manage the festival, getting programmers, they were not even experienced people of color who had these opportunities. So I used Reelworld also as a training ground for a lot of people to become programmers. Some of those programmers have gone on to work at other festivals across Canada. So that was important to me as well. Even our board of directors, we made our board of directors up with lots of different people of color. So it wasn't just the films, it was from training to behind the scenes. It was important that at every aspect people were getting opportunity. It was a great idea. The executive director of Reelworld gave Linda, who's been with us now for the last 2 years, it was really his idea. You know, I come from a generation where I really don't understand gaming and virtual reality the same way, but I rely on a lot of the younger people that I bring into the organization. They come with these great ideas because this is a big part now of the entertainment industry and about media, gaming and virtual reality. That's huge. You know, I'm not a big audience for it, but we do have a big audience for it, and there's a lot of creators of color who are part of this world, and we wanted to give them a voice as well because they're doing incredible work. Well, we encourage people. I mean, it's one thing to make all this content, but it's really important that people come out and look at this content and support the filmmakers and the creators. So by going to the website Reelworld, R-E-E-L, reelworld.ca, all the information about how you can get tickets, and the festival is from October 11th to the 15th. We also have an industry component, so there are wonderful industry panels really helping people to understand how do they get into this industry of whether it's virtual reality or making a film or a short or television show. So it's really important for people to come and support these kind of initiatives.
Yeah, well, for me, this is the 4th time that I've been involved with one of the films at the festival. I've been involved with the Yeah Shorts program here at Reelworld. So for me, I think it's a fantastic opportunity to tell intersectional stories that reflect, I think, what our world looks like, a lot of sort of multicultural stories, and that's inclusive of everybody. So, you know, I'm part of that story, my friends are sort of part of that story, and it's an opportunity to explore those themes and have those themes honored. So I mean, ours deals with intersectional feminism, some interfaith themes, and both visible and invisible diversity. Right. Well, I think for me, I often write things that might have somewhat of a socio-political theme. So I think looking at the complexities of multiculturalism on screen in Toronto is really, really interesting to me. And how do we navigate that, and how do people sort of pursue things that may have, you know, noble intentions, but may end up being more complicated than they initially think. So that was something that I was really interested in exploring the last few years. My film is called The Last Supper. So basically the tagline of the film is a couple of 20-somethings come to the city to figure things out. They just happen to be nuns. So it is a comedy, and it deals with some intersectional and interfaith sort of themes. So people are just sort of trying to help each other along, figure things out, where they're supposed to be going in life. It just has this faith lens, multiple different faiths sort of coming together to help each other through and, you know, figure it out as we do in our 20s. So we have some, you know, great actors involved. Right. Well, I am, I guess, younger than all the sort of other vice presidents. For me, I was just continuing to receive, you know, different mentorship kind of along the way. First, I was the co-chair of YA, and then I decided to run. For me, I like being able to be a voice for these young creators that are often actors as well as filmmakers. And this is a particular program that we're particularly proud of. Really great mentorship happening within this program. This year, some of them are first-time filmmakers, some of them have made films before, so it's a really fantastic way to nurture these young talents, and the Reelworld Film Festival for the last few years has been a really big part of that development. I would say to create your own work, absolutely, to be making things. There's so many things now that make it so much more accessible. I mean, there's iPhone film festival contests that you can do now, so the tools of creation are right in our hands. But what I would also say is make sure that you live your life and explore other things in your life. You know, go on trips, talk to other people, go to, you know, panels about things that you wouldn't normally think have directly to do with entertainment, because I think that's what makes sort of rich and interesting and compelling tales that are different than someone else would tell. And I think it's limiting to only do things that are entertainment based. When you bring all of yourself to the work, I think you honor yourself and you create better stories.
I had heard a wives' tale kind of passing through my community, and I just felt like it was very relevant and something that I wanted to pursue further and work with to develop a script.
Online dating is such a huge part of culture right now, and we're in this phase, we're in a bridge of society where we don't really understand the politics of it. So it's a great commentary on that world of things, because it's very relevant with our community, but people are still a little bit shy about it and they don't really know what to feel about it. But it's almost like harder to meet people in person now. But it's basically based around her character, who's like a catch, but she breaks a lot of hearts. So she's a bit of a man-eater, and she's trying to find the right man, basically.
We don't want to give away too much information. No spoilers here today.
But basically, she's the man-eater.
I'm the man-eater.
Yeah. She goes on dates and breaks a lot of hearts, and then she sort of has to confront her actions.
The film is premiering on October 15th at Reelworld Film Festival, Famous Players at Yonge and Eglinton.
When is it again?
October 15th.
What day is that?
October 15th is a day of the week that I cannot remember.
And where is it again?
Yonge and Eglinton Famous Players.
And what's the film called, sorry?
Man-Eater.
Man-Eater, cool.
He's good to me.
Basically, when I had decided to develop the script, I didn't know what the plan was for it. I had written a short story, and I came across an application for the ACTRA YA Shorts residency program, which was seeking young and emerging filmmakers to help them develop their concepts. So that's when I called Nicole, a producer that I've worked with many times before, and I said, look, this is a great opportunity. I think I can develop a script. Would you want to come on board and help me work with this? Nicole came on board, and then I was accepted into the residency, and then through other strategic partnerships with Joe Bro and William F. White's, we were able to put a pretty cool project together. I think the most important thing is goal setting and making realistic expectations with what you want to do. Just keep pushing forward, stay positive, and really try to write meaningful content, because if you get too ahead of yourself and you try to figure out, well, what am I going to do with this? Where is it going to go? You're just going to bog yourself down. I mean, it's really important to just have a clear vision, get it down on paper, and really develop that, because if the content's there, you're going to be able to find awesome creatives to collaborate with. That's my other point. Definitely, collaboration is key. No man is an island.
The film takes place in the jungle in Sri Lanka. And it's actually based on a true story. So in 2014, there was a red rain that fell in Sri Lanka and India, and it had properties of human blood in it. And when scientists analyzed it, they didn't know. They still don't know where it came from or why it fell. So I took this strange natural phenomena and decided to make like a psychological supernatural thriller out of it, set in the jungles in Sri Lanka just after the war has finished. It's set in Sri Lanka after the war, and I worked in Sri Lanka during and after the war, so I wanted to make a film that kind of talks about conflict and post-conflict and what happens after war is finished, but I wanted it to be thrilling and interesting. I didn't want it to just be kind of a dry drama, so when I heard about this red rain phenomena, I thought pairing those two together would make a very interesting story, because it's already tense after war. So adding a strange red rain that falls that affects the villagers in different ways just makes it more and more interesting. I thought a lot about red rain, or all kinds of different ideas, but I like the idea of a tide as in the tide is turning. The way that we say, like, the tide will turn or the tide is turning is as a saying to indicate that things have changed, that things are changing.